That's always my out on that one. I can change the width of the column. Put your mouse in between the two columns, hold down your left mouse button, move it. Okay. Let's look at structure type. Let's say I wanted to narrow this column, but I got the title in my way, right? So let's get rid of it. I'm going to click in. I'm out of here. And I can call the header anything I want. In this case, just to make it easy, I'll just take out the word structure, hit apply. And eventually it will apply. Come on.
I have a question on
Now, I can move it. Yes, ma'am.
So I was trying to set up a title of a column that was very long, but like a long. Then I tried to stack it on top of each other, and it doesn't let stack it, right?
Right. The other thing you can do, if you're looking at amenities or interior features, and sometimes the column is really wide. Is that what you're talking about?
Well, yeah.
Because what you can
in
do
2
is
words. I wanted to title the column in 2 words, and the data only needed like 8 spaces.
no, you can't stack them.
Okay.
You can't do it in 2 lines.
Okay.
What I was talking about is when you get to the results here, and it's a very long column, so all of a sudden your column just went like this. You can click on wrap line, and it will just, the results, you'll get a much bigger field.
Within the results.
Within the results, not within the column.
Gotcha.
Not within the column header. So then the next thing we can do is add a column, right? That's the important one. So they're always going to add to the right of whatever column you click on, but that doesn't matter because you can drag and drop them anywhere you want when you're done. So I'm going to go Insert Column, and let's go Subdivision. So now I'm going to find the one I want, Subdivision County State. This is the other way to search by subdivision, right? Add this in. And then when this decides to come up, you'll be able to sort by it. Or maybe not.
I don't see it.
I know, neither do I. There you go. Now, I can sort by subdivision.
Nice.
Okay. Now let me bring 2 more in here, which I'm going to bring in some of the days on market ones to show you the difference. So I'm going to go Insert Column. I'm going to go DOM. So I'm going to bring in DOM, and then I'm going to bring in this one, DOM, CDOM. It has both, but there's a big difference. Yeah, by the time this comes up, we may be back to 21 days temp off, you never know. Thank you for that. Oh, God, I'm pulling teeth. Come on. Okay, so here's days on market. I can sort it. All right? DOM, CDOM, I cannot sort because it's pulling from 2 fields. So if you want to be able to sort CDOM and DOM, bring in the separate column, which is just CDOM. Got it? That make sense?
What's CDOM?
Cumulative days on market.
Ah.
Cumulative days, right? That's where that 60-day rule comes in, reset to 0. So now we're done with this. So you have a couple choices. We're going to come over here. You see this box right next to where it says per page? That is your managed display box. If I did not want to keep what I was doing and I want to go right back to my Agent 1 line, I click on Revert Unsaved Changes. Goes right back to it. If I want to save it as a new display, I come back in here. I change the name of it. I call it whatever I want to call it. And I click on Save as a Copy. That's what creates your custom display. Okay. To find your custom displays, you hit the display box, and they're always on top. Okay? You want to remember it's a custom display, just remember that they all start with my colon. Gotta be careful the way you say that. Your custom displays always begin with my colon, okay? Now, let's say you don't like the Agent 1 line. You want a standard display that has the columns that you want. So you set up a custom display, you access it, whatever it happens to be, right? And then you come over here and you set it as a default. So this default sets not only the display, but also the sort order and the count per page. Make sense? All right, now we're going to take it one step further. Let's say you have a more finicky than usual customer, and they say, you know, when you send me listings, the first things I want to see are this, 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 and this. That's all I care about. If that interests me, I'll look at the listing. Got the scenario? So you set up a custom display, and you, with what the columns that they want, and you name it that customer's name, Mr. Smith, whatever it happens to be. You with me? Okay. So now we're going to email the listings. And this works for both auto email or manual emails. Doesn't matter. So let's click on a couple to email them. See this line right here? Display. All customer displays are automatically available to your contact. Then there's a link that says additional. Now you can add that custom display to what your customer is going to get.
Oh.
He's the only one that can see it. Okay? That display is just for them. So now, when you email listings to them, you can come over here. Oh, it's gone. Their name should have been there. I don't know why that didn't work. That's interesting, because usually what happens is, unless they changed it, it'll open up into the one-liner. It'll open up into that one-liner that you've set for them. Oh, I know why. Hold on. Let's go back. Let's get out of here. I didn't want to do that either, did I? I just went out of the whole darn thing. Okay, so do you guys know about recent searches? Have you ever seen that? I wanted to point this out to you. Did you buy that? I wanted you to think I did that on purpose, which I really didn't. So this is recent searches, right? Holds your last 50 searches automatically. Yeah, it should have, I don't know why, it should have come up with that custom display. I don't know what happened. I'll have to check when I get back. So what usually happens is it opens up in that custom display that you have set for the customer. That's what it does. They still have access to the other views on there, but the first thing that they should get, I got to check on that one, is the one-liner. So that's a good way that you can tailor it, and I'll make sure it's working. That was a big finish, huh? And this is why you should also have that banner up there. So when they open it up, they have all your information right here. Yes?
What is the trick when I want to see my results in the map, but I don't want to see the entire state of Maryland? What is the trick that I need to select on the criteria page in order to zero in on Frederick when I click on the map?
As a default.
Not as your results, but as you're working with the map. We're going to go to the map right now. Hey, anybody want to go to the map?
Yeah, sure.
Let's go to the map.
Was that a kid show? Go to the map, go to the map, go to the map. Wasn't that? Wasn't
Dora
that a
the
kid show?
Explorer.
Yeah, Dora the Explorer. There you go. Hey, right? Yeah. I was like, let's go to the map. Swipe or no swiping, right?
So I'm from the Captain Kangaroo generation, so
I have a photo with him. Sorry.
I'm from Wonderama, if you remember that old show. All right, so I'm going to go to the map. So you don't like that, right?
It's not helpful.
That's really hard.
Cool.
It's not helpful.
All right, so if you do most of your work in Frederick County,
Right.
I come to jump to
You've
address.
already told it Frederick County on the criteria page,
We have a set criteria now.
on your search
Yep,
page.
here it is, right, so here's what you do. If you go here, Frederick County, Frederick County, Maryland, it'll take you right there, okay? Now I can come up here to my default wheel, and every time I come into the map, it's going to start me in Frederick County.
It didn't help you though.
What do you mean?
You're still not focusing just on Frederick County, you're seeing Montgomery,
Well,
you're seeing Washington.
right, but it's taking you to the
The
middle of the
blue-
map,
the
then
blue
you
spot.
use your little zoomer.
Yeah, so there's really no way to
No.
eliminate that.
Not like that, no, that's about the most eliminating you can do. All righty. There you go, all these here. Let's zoom in here. So, a couple things that are new. We have a new drawing tool called the Freeform Polygon, which I think is a wrong name, but anyway, it's just a freeform. You can do anything you want. You want to get stupid? Watch, you can type out love. You do this for 14 years, you get a little goofy, right? Now, here's something you may not know. Let's say this is the general area that your customer wanted to live in, but they tell you they're not interested in this little area down here. Anybody know how to eliminate it? Okay, well, I will tell you. You can use any drawing tool, doesn't matter which one you use.
Paintbrush.
I'll use the radius for the heck of it. I put my mouse on the line here and I click on exclude this shape. You'll get no listings in the red area. You only get them in the blue. Okay? You can also put 10 map shapes on the map for one search. Why would I do that? If you're in Montgomery County, I need to be on the red line, but I'm not sure which station. Drill in, draw a radius around each station up the red line. Do it in one search. Light rail in Baltimore, same kind of deal. Some people don't realize that if I draw a radius here, I see this all the time. Oh, that's not the right distance. So they delete it and do a new one. Just latch onto it and you can adjust it. Or you can actually come in here and move the whole radius if you need to. Okay, so you also have that. Yes?
If you have a client that says, I need something within a driving distance to, I don't know, Bethesda Naval Hospital or, you know, but I want to live in Frederick or something
Okay.
like that. So if they give you a location that says I need to be in a drivable area from a business, can you do a search base like that?
That's called index drive time.
Okay.
That's this one right here. This is that little clock. Every once in a while, you'll see a little tiny car drive by. I can't feel what it does. All of a sudden, it kind of gets me. So, where do they work? NIH Bethesda?
Let's say
is that what you said?
NIH, yeah.
NIH Bethesda, Maryland. Finds you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Need to be there by, let's say, 8 o'clock in the morning. Don't want to drive more than a half hour.
Okay. Yeah, really.
Within Bethesda.
On average, that would be your drive at that time of day. You can actually come in here if you want and change the parameters if you need to. Okay. What you could also do is, let's say the husband works somewhere else. So you set one up for the husband and this is the wife, right? Now what you do is you would take your polygon tool and trace the intersections, like your 3rd grade Venn diagram, right? Trace the intersection, which will create a new one. Then you delete this one, the first 2. Then all you're left with is the intersection. Set that up as your location for your auto emails. Now you know that all the properties will be reasonably convenient to both of them.
Wow.
You could have a 3rd one in there if you wanted, because you need to be close to a daycare provider or something like that. And one thing, let me just mention this before I forget. Whenever you're using the map to set the location of your search, you do not put anything under location in the criteria page. That's important. No zip code, no subdivision, no city. Don't do any of that, because if they don't coincide with what you draw, you're going to get no information or bad information. Okay, so be careful about that.
So Neal, on your example of the Venn diagram, you can overlay that on the map right there? Or how do you have to do it manually? Like,
Meaning what? Oh, so if I had 2 of these,
yeah,
I have to take my polygon tool and trace the intersection.
so you can do it on that screen
Yep,
there.
just
Okay.
I come right in here and I could just trace this out if I needed to, whatever it happens to be. Okay. Yep, that's the way that works. Let's get rid of that. And let's get rid of that. And let's get rid of that. All right, so let's take a look at the layers now, because this is another cool feature. So here are your layers. If you see it zoom in and it's in red, that means you are not zoomed in far enough to that layer to access it. Parcel will always be selected. Zip, city, county, unified school district. Anybody know what that is? Pennsylvania only. Okay, their schools do not run by county. So they have, it's called a unified school district. Neighborhood flood zones, congressional districts, schools. You'll know how to search by schools. So if a customer said I need a particular elementary school, you find the school you're looking for. Good luck on that. Right, you would find the school you're looking for, you would grab your polygon tool, and you would trace it. Okay? And then, of course, by the time you're done tracing it, the homes that were for sale when you started are now foreclosed. I understand that. But here's the deal. You should only trace each school one time. The first time somebody asked me for Great Falls Elementary, I do my tracing, and then I immediately go to save as a new search, and I name it that school. Then the next time I need to search that school, I just bring up the old search. The area is already selected. I just adjust my criteria. Off you go.
Except schools change.
Yes, they do. Now, something about schools, now I've never been an agent, so that's my disclaimer. Used to be an appraiser. That's a bad thing. No. I would probably give the website to my customer for the school board, give them the phone number. You know, put a little of the onus on them. That's true, they do change. We have a vendor. If you ever see a new school that's not on the map, please just email me and let me know. We will let the vendor know on that. Okay. A very easy way to search by schools is HomeSnap. Because you can bring up a house in that area, bring up the school map. It just gives you a whole outline of the school area, and it shows you all the schools, all the homes that are for sale in that area. So that's an easy way to do it. Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry if this is a dumb question.
That's okay. I know you.
I know. Is the HomeSnap app on the mobile phone the new replacement for the old MRIS app?
Right, the old MRS app is gone.
Okay, so there's not one just for BrightMLS, now we just use HomeSnap?
No, but what we are in the process of doing, and it was just announced, is HomeSnap's going into a partnership with CoreLogic, who's the company that owns Matrix. So coming down the road, you will be able to edit your listings off of HomeSnap. You will be able to have your saved searches on HomeSnap. You will be able to have your contacts accessible on HomeSnap. So we're doing a lot of integrating our search into HomeSnap. So that is on the roadmap, and they're starting to work on it now.
Okay.
So that's cool. All right, so one more thing I want to show you here. I keep saying that. Let's get rid of this. Let's go down to the parcel level. So if I scroll in here and I click on a parcel, I'm going to get the address, the owner's name. If I click on lot dimensions, I get the lot dimensions. Okay? It's like a pipe stem, huh? Now if I come back here to layers and I select parcel characteristics, I can now get the lot area, I can get the tax ID number, I can get the beds and baths as reported by the tax record. So if you see a dash, that means it just wasn't on the tax record. I can get the building area, I can get the owner's name, and I can get the owner's address.
Wow.
All in one shot.
What does building area mean?
That's the area of the building.
You mean the space inside?
Yeah, yeah.
Duh.
The floor,
Floor plan.
footprint. The footprint, yeah, footprint. So that is that. For those of you new and just not sure.
Layers?
What?
How did you get there?
Under layers.
Under layers.
That's right here.
So what was the very first one you picked to get that outline of the property?
I clicked on parcel to get down to parcel. But if I want all that other information, it's down here, parcel characteristics.
Okay.
So there's your areas and all that good stuff. Okay.
That's a cool feature.
Just in case, in the very lower left-hand left-hand corner, see where it says legend? That gives you all the definitions of all the symbols on the map. ma'am. And the big finish now. The ruler here, click on ruler right above it. That's if you need a as the crow fly distance between 2 points. Click on it here, draw your line. It'll tell you how far it is.
Wow.
Okay, if you want to get rid of it, just put your mouse on here and click delete shape.
Oh, right here? There are some very cool additions. You can remember all of them. Is there a guidebook or anything that goes with all these little tips?
Well, you got me. Yeah, right. I'm your personal guidebook. All righty. Before we get too late here and I get thrown out. Questions, complaints, and compliments. Not necessarily in that order. Yes?
Question. I do some business in Garrett County, and it used to be divided into 4 areas, and now it is not. And it's very, very important because Area 4 used to be in the Deep Creek area. You can't go by zip code because zip code takes in Oakland, the town, in addition to some of the Deep Creek area. So
Let me check something for you.
Garrett County.
are you going to add those areas back in?
I'm going to MLS area. What is the?
So just say, oh, is that?
What are the old
Try
numbers? What?
4. Area 4?
No, they don't have it, do they? Let's see.
No.
Area.
Nothing. Do me a favor. Make sure you take my card and shoot me an email,
Okay.
and I'll find out from the Garrett expert. I used to cover Garrett. Got stuck up there for 2 days once. Went up to teach a class. Snowed that night. I had to stay another night. I couldn't get off the mountain.
That's too bad.
No, but I could. It's too far to the bar, too.
Did you have your skis?
No.
Trust me, if you ever stayed at that Comfort Inn at the base of Wisp, you don't want to stay there.
No.
You don't want to stay there. Questions? Anything else I can help with?
One thing that we've brought up a couple of agents and we've contacted, I guess it's Randy Vanducci.
Viduki, yes.
Vanducci, to add back in the contract with the kick-out. Because even though this is active under contract, you gotta really count that agents are gonna go in there and pick that contingency. If not, they're missing that. So it makes a big deal when you're accepting that kind of.
I'm glad you suggested that directly to her because we get that suggestion all the time.
Yeah,
She's the
So
RVP,
hopefully-
so.
hopefully you guys will add that back in. 'Cause-
Hopefully we will. I agree with you totally. They should still have the kick out, no kick out, but
Right.
it is what it is. Anything else that help you guys? Yes, ma'am.
How come sometimes that box that gives you the answers is there and sometimes it isn't? You have to go all the way to the bottom of the page to see it. See where it gives you the results in that orange bar?
Right?
Sometimes it's all the way at the bottom of my screen. It doesn't always stay with me at the top.
I don't
Right
know.
there.
Yeah, it does.
Mine slides.
It should float.
Open it in Chrome.
Are you using Chrome? What do you use?
I don't know.
Try Chrome as your internet.
It does it with to me too.
Does it?
Yeah, I use it.
I'll ask
I
you
use
about that.
Chrome too. I stopped using Internet Explorer or Firefox. Because I don't know what's with Chrome.
Yeah, Chrome works best on this system, I think. Orange bar floating. Got it. All this stuff that you guys tell me goes into a report, so don't worry. It doesn't fall on my deaf ears. It falls on the higher up's deaf ears. No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. Don't record that. Cut that out. Anything else I can help you guys with? Please take my card. And I say this in all sincerity. If you have a question or a problem on the weekend, feel free to try to call me. Okay, if my wife isn't close enough to throw something at me, I'll be there. And if you need me early in the evening, please. About a month ago, 6:30 in the morning, my phone rang. This kid is in a panic. Someone has my information. They have broken into my account. I said, well, how do you know that? Well, I have a coming soon listing, and I went to bed and I opened it up and it was active. I said, well, I have 2 things to tell you, sir. Number 1, that's the way it works. When you put that date in, it goes active. That's number 1. Number 2, don't call me at 6:30 in the morning. All right, I'll be here if anybody has any extra questions. Thank you all very much. I thought you have this. I hope you found this helpful. Please sign the sign-up sheet in the back if you have it. And if I could get a copy of the sign-up sheet.
Oh, sorry. Cutting it out, right?
Thank you.
Grab some lunch, everybody.